Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is coming to you from a hotel room where I am staying while I am traveling for business. So I thought it would be fun to bring along some items that I use anyway when I travel and do a video for you comparing the best card holders. So because these are small, it was easy to bring these along in my luggage and do a little video comparing what fits and what I think of each of these pieces. So I'm going to go through these three beautiful pieces. This is the Louis Vuitton monogram clay, or people like to call this a key clay. This is the standard classic key clay. I bought mine a few years ago directly from the boutique, but there are lots of vintage versions of this piece out there, and it is two pieces of canvas. It's the same on both sides, a little zipper compartment, and the key hook. And so the key little hook there is on the inside, so you could fit this entirely into the pouch if you wanted to. And the way this is sewn is that the lining is turned inward, right? So to use an Hermes term, it's sort of like a retourne or retourne style of putting together this pouch. So that's this pouch. And the other one that I have in my collection, I showed recently during my video all about multicolor. And this is a different style for the edges. This is more of a cellier type style in that the edges for the pouch are pinched together and sewn. And so you have these two pieces of canvas with the beautiful multicolor monogram print on either side. And then you have a trim in the vachetta leather. This vachetta has patinaed over time, and consistent with this style, it has the metal corners as well, which are all scratched up and starting to silver just with age and with use. And then originally this did have sort of the red trim that Louis Vuitton vachetta pieces often have, which fades over time. So that is a normal look to it. And then inside, this is lined in leather. And then you see there, you do have the attachment for the key hook and chain, which again can fit entirely inside if you don't want it hanging out. For whatever reason, I never use these for keys and putting the keys inside the pouch. I always use the pouch itself for cards and coins and cash, and utilizing it more like a card holder rather than a key pouch, which makes it a good comparison to this item from Hermes, which is a card holder slash key pouch. This is the Calvi Duo, and what makes this different from the traditional Calvi is the addition of this pocket here. So having a second pocket and having this available, and you can kind of slide it up a little bit if you needed to, but I don't really do that. I just let it be an additional pocket in there, and it's got some coins right now. So yeah, this is definitely a piece that is nice because it will hold your coins, rather than the original Duo, which doesn't have a portion here that flaps over and snaps. So when you open it, it's just sort of two pockets that look like this on either side. And so folks sometimes complain that if you were to put coins in an open pocket like this and then open it up, then they just kind of slide around and slide all over. So that would be pretty annoying, and I didn't want to have to deal with that with mine. So I did specifically request the Calvi Duo, and was really excited when I was offered this piece. So it has the palladium hardware, and this is in chev leather, which is a goat skin. So let's talk briefly about what each of these pieces holds, and I will move my cards and some cash between each one to just sort of show what fits. So right now in this card holder, the traditional monogram, I have 10 cards. So there they are, they're all in there. So there are credit cards and debit cards in here, insurance cards and gift cards. So I have a bunch of cards that I use in my everyday life, and this is kind of my maximum. I tend to try not to have so many cards, but because I'm traveling for work, I have a work card in here that I don't always have with me. I have 3 different insurance cards, one for regular insurance, one for my vision plan, and one for prescriptions. And then I happen to have a gift card for Target here as well. So lots of cards. And then I also like to have a little bit of cash on me when I travel. And so there are just 3 bills here that are just folded up. So, you know, any 3 bills just sort of folded in half and then over again. That's how I like to carry my cash. And right now I don't have any coins or anything here, so that's it. I do want to mention, I don't know if you can all see this with the light, that you can see through the bottom of the pouch with the stitching. That is totally normal. This does bother some people quite a lot, and so they'll take their pouch back, or you know, they'll hold it up to the light before they purchase it at Louis Vuitton and make sure that they get one where the stitches are pulled tighter and that you can't see through it. I've never had any issues, and it's, as far as I'm aware, considered something that's just a normal variability of this design. So just wanted to point out that if you do discover that this is something that's going on with your pouch, don't sweat it. They'll repair it if they need to, and otherwise it's normal, and mine has been like this for years and I've had 0 issues. So just throwing that out there. All right. Another thing I wanted to point out is that if you were going to use this hook for keys, or when I travel, I like to hook it to another pouch within my larger tote. You slide this to the left and then lift it up. So the catch, you can just push it down and it will catch and relock. But when I first ever had one of these in my hands, I couldn't figure out for the life of me how to get it to open. So you have to slide it up and then open. So that's how that works. Just a word to the wise. So that's what fits in this pouch. Now let's compare it to my other Louis Vuitton pouch. And we can get the cash in there, no problem. And then we can maybe get cards, not all of them at the same time. So let me get some of these cards. Let's see, this is half of them. So here's 5 cards that I'm gonna put in. And it's a bit of a tight squeeze. So because of the opening being what it is, this was kind of tight to get it in. And so honestly, I don't know that I would actually choose to put more than 5 cards in this particular holder. So just something to be aware of. Like, I'm zipping that up and that does feel pretty tight. So it only fits about half as many cards as the traditional monogram version does. And so even though it takes up more space because of the retourné style on the edges there, it actually has a lot more space inside this one than it does this one. So I hope that makes sense to explain there. But because these are being pinched in, it's creating just a narrower space, and so I can kind of feel the outline of my cards right here, and it just feels tighter overall. So this style, while beautiful, is not going to be as spacious as this style. So just keep that in mind. Now let's compare it to the Calvi. So I'm gonna take these cards out, and oh, this grabbed the cash with it. So we're gonna take those out, and this has some coins in it. So let's get out the coins. These coins could easily have fit into either of the other pouches as well. So typically I do put coins in there, and I will put things in this section and in this section behind the coin purse area. So there's really 3 compartments where you can put things. Right there, right there and in here. So let's see what fits. I have my cash, my 3 bills folded up. Then I'm going to slide behind here. And then I have my 5 cards. And they fit pretty well. I have my other 5 cards. And they will also fit. But now it's starting to seem pretty full. It will snap closed just fine, but the profile of this card holder is much wider than this one. So in terms of fitting into a bag or especially like a mini bag, this has a much sleeker profile than this one. Especially if then I add in things like coins or anything else that might be bulky. You know, if I have some additional cash here, these are just, let's see, I have like 3 more bills that if I folded up to put in here along with some coins, then suddenly it's just even that much more stuff. So you can stuff this wallet pretty full, but I don't know if you can tell here, you can kind of start to see the outline of the cards pressing into the leather itself when it's really full. And I, you know, don't really need to use this piece so much that it's worth it to me to really keep it stuffed. I wouldn't do that on a day-to-day basis over time. I would prefer to not have it be as stuffed and not to be stretching out the leather and creating an indentation as a result of my cards being in the piece. So, I mean, personally, I think, let's see here. I think having about 5 cards makes sense, along with some cash, and it's good to go. And it doesn't feel particularly stretched or tight, but that's a fair amount of cash in terms of the folds, and then the coins in this side. So this side is definitely thicker feeling than this side. Something that you did kind of notice as I was opening it is that these do slide forward. So you do have to be aware of your possessions, and as you're opening it, don't do it in such a way that your cards fall right out. So just, you know, be mindful of that as you use a piece like this. But in general, that's sort of my biggest pet peeve with this piece. So I guess, yeah, I'll talk about pet peeves. My biggest pet peeve for this piece is the capacity and the width because of the folded style. And then I also am a little concerned about these corners wearing and rubbing over time. They're very new right now, but I have seen these on the pre-loved market, and the corners in all of these spots tend to wear out, tend to look a little more ragged, tend to get discolored and rubbed and even cracked in certain specimens. So something to keep in mind. This one, as I mentioned, the Cellier style kind of pinches it in, and so it just has less capacity. But with this piece, I don't really have any pet peeves. So if I had to choose just one to keep in my collection, hands down, the monogram OG Cles would win. This just forms a really sleek, useful wallet. It's great to be able to clip it to things. It's easy to get my things in and out. It's durable. I've gone hiking with this. I've gone camping with this. It has gone all around the world with me. It has been a great, great piece. So while I do love the look of these other 2 pieces, and I think they're very beautiful, if I had to choose only one, this would be the winner. So I hope this comparison was helpful for you. No one wants to unwittingly make a bad luxury purchase. So at Wedding Chic, I love sharing all of my experience, tips, and tricks with you guys so that you can make luxury purchases that fit your real self and not just your fantasy self. Please do come back. I would love to have you join me again in a future video. So do hit the like and subscribe. I really appreciate it more than you know. As a small content creator on YouTube, I'm really excited to grow this community over time. So thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I hope wherever you are, you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.